What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast, back for another week. I am your host, Alex Leak, and this is the 2019 Indianapolis Colts season preview. Looking first at the coaching staff, they stay the same with Frank Reich, Nick Sirianni, and Matt Eberflus as the head coach, OC, and DC. Had a pretty good year last year, winning one playoff game. But couldn't quite get the job done in Arrowhead against the Chiefs. So we'll see if they can take it to the next step in 2019. Looking at the draft, in the second round, they took corner Rocky Ya-Sin out of Temple. Excellent draft pick. A lot of people had this guy going in the first round. So for the Colts to get him in the second round, that's a good get. He should help shore up the defense here in Indy. Also in the second round, Ben Banogu out of TCU, linebacker. Also in the second round, wide receiver Paris Campbell out of Ohio State, a very underrated draft pick. I think he's the third best wide receiver, maybe the second best, probably as of right now the third best wide receiver on this roster. All he needs is opportunity. Paris Campbell is a speedster. Get him out in the open. Him and T.Y. Hilton are going to give defenses nightmares. Also, in the fourth round, safety Kerry Willis out of Michigan State. Excellent draft pick here. I'm a big fan of Kerry Willis, safety out of Michigan State. So, it seems they're going defense for the most part. Corner, safety, wide receiver, a little linebacker. It really is going to hinge on Andrew Luck. The biggest story in Indy right now is Luck's hamstring strain that has lingered all offseason. I think he said he felt it in March or April, and it really hasn't gone away, even still to this day. And what is worrisome about it is a couple things. The one that's not gone away, and two, that Luck was saying he can feel it down in his ankle. And that's not a good thing, because that right there is shockingly similar to the Kevin Durant injury that we saw in the finals. It was a hamstring strain, or that's what it was called, and it went longer than a lot of people expected. Everyone was asking, when's Durant going to be back? And then there was all that talk about his ice pack being down around his ankle. Everyone's like, if it's a hamstring strain, why isn't the ice pack up around the hamstring? Well, it was down, or a calf strain. Why wasn't it down why was it down by the ankle? So it's got to be worrisome for the Colts. They have to take extra precaution here with this injury and make sure that Luck, the last thing that you can afford if you're the Colts is to have Luck have a major injury. Another one, he's getting to the point in his career where he's had to deal with some multiple major injuries, and you can't have him deal with more. You got to do everything in your power to keep him from that. He's got a great offensive line that keeps him upright, protects him, gives him all the time he needs. So I wouldn't play Luck at all in the preseason. Let him just get his body right, get his legs right, and hopefully it won't be an issue come week one going forward. But that's got to be the top story in Indy. If you look at who Luck's weapons are, T.Y. Hilton, he's an all-pro. He's excellent year after year after year. They bring in Devin Funchess from the Panthers. He was the number one option in Carolina, so he can come in here, be the number two, maybe fit in a little bit better. Then you got Paris Campbell, the draft pick, who I think is the third best receiver. I really do. He's a burner. Just give him an opportunity. He'll probably be doing some end of rounds, similar to what T.Y. Hilton does from time to time. And we all know that Andrew Luck will use the weapons like Chester Rogers and Zach Pascal. I've seen it happen. Deion Kane, another under-the-radar weapon on this roster. future could be a solid wide receiver in this league. Offensive line, I mean, Quentin Nelson, Mark Lewinsky, Anthony Costanzo, Ryan Kelly, excellent. Braden Smith, excellent offensive line here in Indy that protect Andrew Luck. At tight end, I mean, really no holes on this team. You look at Eric Ebron, Jack Doyle at tight end, Mo Alley Cox even is a decent tight end for third string. Um, you look at, say Andrew Luck, God forbid, say Andrew Luck goes down at some point, you actually have a decent number two, a quarterback with starting experience who could come in and do just fine, and that's Jacoby Brissett, who I think is a future starting quarterback in this league. Some team is going to pay him money to come in and be a starter. So most franchises don't have the luxury of having a decent backup quarterback, and Brissett is about as good as it gets for number two. Then you go to the running back position. Marlon Mack really came on late in the year last year. He looks like to be the guy going forward. Naheem Himes, excellent pass-catching running back. Saw him live against the Texans catching touchdowns. Then Jordan Wilkins, another decent running back. Saw him used a decent amount last year. And Deontay Foreman as well. So the Colts aren't hurting really. I mean, looking across this offense, they are pretty deep and pretty loaded at every position. So let's go to defense. Jabal Sheard, Danico Autry, Tyquan Lewis, Margus Hunt, Justin Houston brought in from Kansas City. He's got a lot of miles. He's an older linebacker slash DN, but he can still get to the quarterback, create those sacks, create those forced fumbles, and impact the game. Something that they definitely need in that division with a lot of talent. Got to get to Nick Foles. Got to get to Deshaun Watson. Got to get to Mariota. So, good addition. I really like the Justin Houston acquisition for the Colts this offseason. The one weak spot I see is linebacker position. Darius Leonard is awesome. We all know that. But who else do they have? Name me another linebacker. I see Sky Moore. Who else? Matthew Adams and Anthony Walker. Who are these guys? They're relatively young draft picks the last 2 years. So, but Darius Leonard's the key. He's the guy. He's a beast. And so they need to build around Darius Leonard, but he's got to carry that linebacking core for the meantime. Looking at the secondary, Pierre Tazier, Rocky Sin should be a starter, I think, as soon as possible. Clayton Geathers at strong safety. Kerry Willis, backup strong safety. Good safeties there. Matthias Farley. Malik Hooker at free safety. Excellent draft pick a couple years ago. High ceiling on that guy. And then Kenny Moore as the other corner. So they could be better defensively, but they've got pieces, and they're still building through the draft. Offensively, though, they're going to be tough to beat. Vinatieri still doing his thing for Adam Vinatieri, so good kicker. So yeah, the Colts are, looking pretty good, especially offensively. Going into 2019, it all hinges, though, around Andrew Luck's health. The Colts are only improving and looking to contend in the AFC in 2019. Can Andrew Luck get this team to a Super Bowl? He's got them to the AFC Championship game before. Can he go the next step, get these Colts back in the Super Bowl? Something they haven't been there since Peyton Manning was the quarterback. So Luck definitely feeling that shadow, the statue outside of the stadium with 18. He wants to one day have another statue out there with a 12 right next to Peyton Manning. So he needs, if he's going to do that, he's got to deliver a championship for this franchise. So the Colts hoping Andrew Luck will be healthy and ready to go come week 1 and in position to lead this team deep into the playoffs. Now, Luck played great against the Texans. I was disappointed with his performance in Arrowhead against the Chiefs. It was cold. It was snowy. It seemed like the type of game that Luck would dominate. He's got the playoff experience. He's got, he just seemed like that guy. But Mahomes and the Chiefs kind of took it to him. Luck wasn't completing even really the basic throws in that game. So it was tough to watch. The NFL suspends backup quarterback Chad Kelly 2 games for that partying incident last year with the Broncos, where he went and went into some random person's house and was sitting on the couch, and they got him for some kind of drugs that he was on or something like that. Disorderly conduct. Can't have that. Hopefully Chad Kelly's learned his lesson. He'll be out the first 2 games, and hopefully for him he can earn his way to the 3rd spot and back up Jacoby Brissett this year. I'm rooting for Chad Kelly. Hopefully he can get his shit together for the Colts. So the biggest question really this year is going to be, can the Colts take the next step, get back to the AFC Championship game, get to a Super Bowl, and give these Colt fans what they want, give Jim Irsay what he's been trying to build for a while now. They're in a very tough division. I do have the Colts winning the division, going 11-5. But I've got the Texans and Jags going 10-6 right on their heels. So it's going to be a very competitive division. And they're going to need a healthy Andrew Luck for the entire season if they're going to come out of it. So that's the big news. The big story is obviously Andrew Luck's health, Andrew Luck's leg. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. Hopefully it all works out. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. If you disagree or have something to add, leave it in the comments. Appreciate you guys. And thanks for tuning in. And hopefully the Colts can deliver what you guys are hoping for in 2019. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back next week. Peace out.